People say respect is earned through kindness. That's a lie. The real world doesn't reward the one who smiles most. It bows to those who know exactly when not to smile. Have you noticed? Those who try the hardest to be liked are the first to be forgotten, while the quiet ones, the ones who don't flatter, who understand the weight of a firm look, those are the ones who make the room stop. Respect is not affection. It's tension. It's the chill in your stomach someone feels when they think, if I cross the line, it might cost me. And no, it doesn't need to be an explicit threat. True respect is born when people are uncertain about what you're capable of. That doubt, that emptiness, that what if, that's what builds authority. Those who constantly try to please become easy codes to crack. But the ones who remain mysterious, no one dares to test them. You want to be respected? Stop trying to be pleasant. Don't reveal everything you think or everything you feel. Hold on to silence like it's a weapon. Respect is built when you're not too accessible, when your attention has a price. When your reactions are unpredictable, people don't respect what they fully understand. They respect what they fear they might lose or provoke. Think of the person who impacted you the most in life. Now reflect. Were they sweet all the time? Or were they someone you never quite knew what to expect from? The answer tells you everything. Respect isn't a result of kindness. It's the consequence of possible consequence. And those who master this art never need to ask to be taken seriously. Again, liking is cheap. Respect is not. Here's the hard truth. People like what they can control, but they only respect what they can't replace. You can be the nicest person in the room, the most helpful, the most cheerful, and still be discarded without warning. You know why? Because when you bend too much to please, you dissolve. You become a shadow. And shadows are forgotten. You want to be remembered. Then stop wanting to be loved. Become irreplaceable. Be the type of person who, when they leave, leaves a void. Not a void of affection, but of usefulness, strength, impact. You can be sweet as honey, but if you don't bring real value, you're just another jar on the shelf. Now, if your absence destabilizes the system, if without you the project stalls, the team stalls, trust cracks, then you're necessary. And what's necessary is respected. Stop shrinking your intensity to fit someone else's space. Be whole. Bring ideas that make people uncomfortable. Take stands that don't sway with the wind. People who can't handle friction will never truly respect you. To be necessary is to be an anchor. To be the pillar holding up the structure. You don't need 1,000 smiles. You need one single certainty. That without you, something important breaks. In the eyes of the world, kindness is a bonus. But being indispensable, that's the rarest currency there is. So ask yourself now, if you vanished, what would change? If the answer is nothing, you're being liked, but you're not being respected, and there is no power in being liked. Power lives in the silence of the one who knows. I can walk a ways and you'll feel my absence exactly where it hurts the most. Some people walk into a room and everyone notices, not because they speak loudly, but because the air shifts. Presence is not volume, it's density. It's the invisible firmness that bends the room without asking for permission. You felt this, haven't you? Someone enters and suddenly everyone adjusts their posture, changes tone, watches their words. That person hasn't said a single thing, but they've already taken control of the room. That's what you need to build. An invisible force field around you, built from self-confidence, posture, and emotional control. Presence is when your energy speaks louder than your voice. It's when your silence weighs more than someone else's speech. People confuse presence with performance. They think they need to entertain, take up space, make noise. But true influence comes from calm, from steadiness, from the gaze that doesn't flinch, the word that isn't wasted, the gesture that means something. Those who have presence don't chase attention. They make attention chase them. And here's a truth few dare to say. The more you try to be noticed, the less impact you have. But when you're self-contained, when you don't need to be heard to have value, when you stop begging for acceptance like an emotional beggar, that's when you become unavoidable. Presence is inner control. It's knowing that you don't need to say a word to be felt. It's making others adjust, think twice, become uneasy, just because you're there. It's not about shouting, It's about weighing. And the more you refine that art, the less you'll speak, and the more the world will move around you. Predictability is an invitation to manipulation. When people know exactly how you'll react, they learn how to control you. If you always respond with kindness, if you always explain yourself, if you always give in, congratulations, you've become a walking instruction manual. But here's the secret of those who are never subdued. They break patterns. They are enigmas. And enigmas are not manipulated, that they're feared. Being unpredictable isn't being inconsistent. It's being smart enough to change the game before they read your cards. You want respect? Then stop being obvious. When they expect your anger, give them silence. When they expect your agreement, offer pause. When they expect your presence, disappear. That confuses. That destabilizes. And where there's uncertainty, there's caution. People don't fear what they understand. They fear what they can't decode. And it's that subtle fear, that quiet doubt planted deep in their minds, that keeps you powerful. Predictability is a display window. You expose too much and the world learns exactly where and how to break you. But the unpredictable, that's the kind of person no one dares to test, because no one knows what the response will be. You can be a storm or a wall. You can react or remain still. But the point is, no one can predict you, and that is brutally powerful. It's like mental chess. You don't need to knock over pieces. You just need to make the other person hesitate before making a move. Doubt, they retreat. And respect lives in that retreat. So next time someone tries to read you, change your rhythm. Be the question no one can answer. Be the risk no one wants to take. Be the variable that breaks the plan. Because being unpredictable is not a flaw. It's armor. It's strategy. It's freedom. The world is addicted to noise. Everyone wants to talk, to shout, to prove something. But the most dangerous ones are the ones who say nothing. Silence is not absence. It's presence in its purest form. It's the space where the weak expose themselves and the strong grow stronger. When you are quiet, you observe. You see the intentions hidden behind words. You notice fear disguised as arrogance, insecurity dressed up as confidence. Silence is uncomfortable because it exposes. It forces the other person to fill the void, with justifications, excuses, nervousness. While you just observe. Those who master silence master the game, because silence doesn't expose weaknesses, doesn't reveal plans, doesn't provide ammo. And the most interesting part? The less you speak, the more people want to hear from you. Your words gain weight, your pauses become tension, your presence becomes doubt, respect, and power. Silence is emotional control. It's refusing to fall into provocation. It's knowing you don't need to explain yourself to those who don't deserve it. It's resisting the impulse to react and choosing the right moment to act. Noisy people crave attention. Silent people already have authority. Want to leave someone off balance? Don't react. Don't explain. Don't give what they expect, and watch. Discomfort grows. Insecurity explodes. Respect is born. Because silence says what the voice never could. I am complete. I don't need to prove anything. And in the end, those who stay silent with power speak louder than any desperate cry for validation. What is common is not valued. What is rare is revered. You can be always present, always available, always kind. But the more you show up, the less your absence is felt. And what isn't missed isn't respected, it's forgotten. The world has learned to dismiss what's always within reach. The friend who never says no. The professional who replies at any hour. The person who always says yes even when completely drained. This infinite availability isn't generosity. It's self-sabotage disguised as care. You want respect. Learn to withdraw. Learn to vanish at the right moment. To not reply immediately. To not justify yourself to those who don't deserve it. Those who show up only when essential are treated as essential. Those who show up all the time are treated as background. You don't need to be arrogant. You need to be selective. Because your time, your energy, your attention, they are luxuries. And luxury is never given for free. Think of the most valuable things on earth. They're not found on every corner. They're locked away, protected, surrounded by standards. Do the same with yourself. With every no you say, your importance rises. With every strategic absence, your presence gains weight. Scarcity breeds desire. It breeds respect. It breeds curiosity. It breeds effort. People start to ask themselves, do I deserve this access? Am I valuing this the way I should? And in that process, you step out of the crowd. You become someone to be earned, not just tolerated. Stop being everywhere. Stop giving all of yourself to everyone at the same time. Be rare. Be presence. With purpose. And watch. Respect starts to grow where there used to be only habit, because in the end, the less they can have you, the more they'll value you. There comes a moment when you realize being liked is a cheap compliment. Being needed is the real power move. The world is full of nice people. People who please, who praise, who avoid conflict. But who vanish from memory the moment they turn their backs. You know what stays? The one who solves problems. The one who holds things together. The one who's the gear that, when removed, breaks the whole system. You need to decide, do you want to be decorative or do you want to be structural? Being indispensable isn't about being useful at everything. It's about being essential. At something, it's knowing exactly the value you deliver and making sure everyone around you knows it too. You want respect? Be the kind of person no one wants to lose. That's not built by being overly nice or by always saying yes. It's built by being solid, by saying no when it's necessary, by taking on the responsibilities no one else wants, and delivering with excellence. When your absence weighs more than your presence, you've made it. When people shift their behavior just imagining that you might leave, you've become indispensable, and this applies to everything. In business, in relationships, in life, the difference is brutal. Being liked is vanity. Being needed is power. Those who chase approval constantly adapt. Those who become necessary force others to adapt to them. Approval turns you into a disposable product, but indispensability turns you into a strategic asset, and a strategic asset is never ignored. So stop chasing applause. Build roots. Be the foundation of something big. And you'll see, respect won't come because you asked for it. It will come because without you something important collapses.